Hey, welcome. And today, this is our latest install, replacing the old Burnham from an earlier video, rather. This is what we've got. And we have our usual sight glass blowdown. The boiler is empty right now. We're going to be refilling it in a little bit. And this is a drain that we operate to make sure to keep the sight glass clean. Needs a little bit of cleaning there, but that shouldn't be a problem. We've got it mounted on blocks. We've been told that the boiler is subject to flooding at some time, and so putting up on blocks at least might go to ameliorate a minor flood. When you run this boiler and test it for first time or for startup in the spring checkout, the best thing to do is fire it and start draining the water away. And what you may discover is that the water level is fairly low by the time it trips. Even though the probe is up here, you can see that that's pretty much at this level. The probe is a 1/2-inch thread, by the way, so in this particular model and make. You'll find that the unit will trip off at a much lower level than the location of the probe, and so that's why they do the cycle guard. This particular cycle guard is 20 minutes for 90 seconds. The earlier ones were rather annoying because they had a much shorter period of time between they cycled, so they had some pushback on that, but overall it does help burnouts on boilers due to the fact that they have a lot of surfactants and detergents in them when they're first fired, and the foam will trick the probe into keeping the boiler running when the water level is in fact dangerously low. So that's why they do that. The pressure control is, when it comes from the factory in the setting, it's up to 9. You want to reduce it down to 1/2 pound in the cut-in, and the wheel should be set at 1. The relief valve, the safety valve, that's what they're called when they're steam, 15 psi relief, and I've got it on union for servicing. Now this is a 5-section boiler, and that means that it is the minimum size that calls for 2 outlets. So we've got the 2-inch outlets. It should come up at least 18 inches, but we go up 24 inches. And then we do the drop header, which allows for ease of install and also presumably for drier steam. The header is pitched towards the equalizer line. We've got 1 takeoff, and as we go up, this is pitching for parallel flow and pitching for parallel flow. The old copper one was, of course, pitching for backwards, so that the condensate on startup was then rolling back down into the path of the oncoming steam. So that will help. Frank has wired it, so we have a box here, and then we loop over to keep this from touching the pipe, and then it allows plenty of room for insulation. The VXT is currently off because we've powered it down. There's our feed button, maintenance tag, again the equalizer line, and we have a swing joint. We've got stainless steel inlet there for corrosion resistance, and this is extra heavy nipple. I have a few in stock. We're just going through them. It's not that extra heavy is more resistant to corrosion. It just offers more meat for the sacrifice, if you will, so that's not likely to rust out anytime soon. And the malleable fittings have enough carbon in them to resist corrosion. We've got a stainless steel street L, and then we're going into a brass and into copper, because the somebody else long ago has replaced the steel line with copper. You can see they put a coating on there, and you can see that even that there was definitely a little bit of corrosion there. I cleaned some of that off. Used ProPress for ease of use. And we use soldering here because sometimes it's nice to have this fitting. This is a 1-inch sweat by 3/4 female adapter by 1-inch sweat. We've got a 1/4 turn drain valve because I'm not likely to run into any clogs or backups with a copper line, although it's not likely, but it's possible, but it's unlikely, so we can go with a more ordinary drain valve. On the boiler, it's usually a good idea to run with a full port drain and scrap the one that comes with the boiler. It's pretty useless. So this is your bypass here, and I usually pipe it in with a shutoff valve here for service, and I leave plenty of room for somebody to put a union here if they need to remove the valve for later servicing. So I think that about covers it. Thank you very much for your support and questions and so forth. They're very much appreciated, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you, and happy steam.